com, and it's Friday. Welcome to the end of the week. And today I want to let you guys know a little bit about something I've never really talked about much at all, except maybe a little bit to my sister, of course, and my wife, Jen. And it's about my mom. So it's really funny how life goes sometimes, right? And you start to wonder, is there some sort of plan, or how is this all intertwined, and what's going on? And it has to do with choices and solving the deep inner stuff, the stuff that's maybe generational, from moms and dads, and things that are kind of like running a certain pattern, and then life shows up a certain way for people. And a lot of us that are search for answers and for healing and changing our life situations, it seems like a lot of it's because of the past. Certain things happened in the past, certain things were certain ways, and so backstory. I grew up as a regular kid in West Texas, Del Rio, Texas, right on the Rio Grande, a mile from Mexico. In fact, my grandparents were born in Mexico, but then because of the war and all that kind of stuff, they changed the border, and then all of a sudden they weren't in Mexico anymore; they were in Texas. So I've got deep Mexican roots and some German in me, and my mom was full of a lot of anxiety growing up, and I've seen a few pictures of her and a very short amount of video from her, and now looking back, I can go, oh yeah, she had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff with her liver, and a lot of anxiety, and she somehow found a guy, my stepdad, early on, and in most, me and my sister, we used to talk about it a lot. We don't talk about it that much anymore, but you could say it was a disaster. She was a speech therapist in Del Rio, got her degree, and we were going to be doing just fine. And my grandparents had given us a lot of money because my Uncle Carlos had died, and left them a lot of money, and so my mom's parents were setting us up, everybody in the family up to be okay. But my stepdad had another idea. And so he took us all to Madison, Wisconsin. My mom got her PhD in what's called psycholinguistics. It's a speech therapy kind of thing. And they had some plan to come back to Del Rio and build a big clinic, a big home for us. And everybody would come from all over the world and be healed by my mom. Sounds kind of funny, huh? When you think of what I ended up doing and with my work, helping people from all over the world with their healing and transformation and stuff. It's like, that's just interesting. Funny thing is, my sister's kids followed a similar approach with their work as teachers and speech therapists, and it's like, it's very interesting, right? How things work out. And years ago, I got gifted a astrology session with somebody, and the guy told me that if I wanted to work on my family stuff, to move to the Pacific Northwest. It was like this line, and at the very top, that was where, if I wanted to work on that, that's where I would go. And it's interesting because ever since I was in high school and saw pictures of the Northwest and runners running on trails, I always wanted to live up here. And so it's also kind of funny, right? Like how life goes and puts you in certain places. And so just fast forward, now we went through all sorts of trouble and problems and moved and wanted to do things to help people heal from all over the world, and had lots of stuff go on. And the anxiety was showing up in me. I was terribly anxious. I mean, if you've heard some of my stories, it's like, it's crazy what I was going through on the inside. And yet I built a successful business, physical therapy practice in San Diego. And then that fell apart. My health fell apart, and we moved up to the Pacific Northwest, and I had to rebuild and start a whole new life. It's cool, though, that these obstacles, like my mom with all of her anxiety and me with all of my anxiety, they were actually miracles, right? The thing is, though, I didn't know how to turn them into miracles. So I had to work deeply on my inner stuff because I was very tormented, lots of anxiety, and I could have kept trying to push through like I did in San Diego and just build a practice and a business anyway through this anxiety. But I started finding ways to really clear for the first time this deep inner anxiety so that it was like totally, completely, absolutely gone. And then I could help other people because I had found the way out of that. And I got a great success story this week from somebody who's been working with me for quite a few months and told me she doesn't have anxiety anymore. So it's been really cool. But when I think back on it, I think, there's so many people that are trying to do big things in business and in life and get relationships, but they've got this anxiety thing, or they have a pattern of their mom treated them a certain way or their dad treated them a certain way and still do. And they're working through that and trying to solve things and maybe distance themselves from a mom or try to work through stuff with a dad as they try to build their businesses and build their lives and get over their stuff. And those challenges, definitely they're miracles, right? But you got to know what to do, like how to turn it into the miracle. So that deep inner work to clear the anxiety and clear whatever the generational stuff is, it's cool to really find that and then shift it, because there's a lot of stuff to do in the physical world. You got to still do the work. If you're going to have a business or you're going to get healthy, there's things to do, right? And if you can find the deep inner stuff and have a way to really shift that and turn that obstacle, that generational stuff, the mom, dad stuff, all that stuff into a true miracle, then the people you interact with will treat you differently. I mean, instantly. It could be, you could start noticing, wow, everybody's getting you. Everybody's getting you. They're getting you in your work. They're understanding what you're all about. They want to hire you. It can happen really, really fast. But it's the kind of thing that somebody has to jump, right? Somebody has to jump. They have to take a chance. If they know this is like a thing, they can really solve this deep inner stuff. Then they can flow freely towards their goals. But they have to jump. They have to say, okay, I'm in. I'm going to do this. And so I've got an email from somebody that asked me, please tell me just what video to do to solve a really complex health problem. And I was thinking about it, and it's like, wow, there's a couple things I'm going to send her. I finally got the download of what to do. And I'm hoping that she jumps, but it's up to her. And this other guy, I'm hoping that he jumps. That wants to solve a big business thing, but I'm dealing with some deep inner game stuff and going through some deep stuff. But there's a way to solve it, And I think back to me and Texas and my mom and I couldn't get out of there fast enough when I was in high school, and I didn't go back very often. And my sister is still trying to save my mom, but my mom is my mom, and she made choices. She ended up with the wrong guy, is what you could say, or maybe the right guy for all of us to have our own transformation. I had a client that her little boy told her, Mom, you just married the wrong guy. And it's like, we all wanted her, we all could see it, like, oh my God, this guy is not good for your soul. But she hung in there. And I'm not saying, everybody should get a divorce or everybody should change relationships in a big way. But, when and there's choices. And so I'm thinking about my mom, and she didn't know what to do. She used to research lots of stuff for us, but she was raised in a time in the 50s, and then I was raised in the 60s, and it was all the modern stuff. So, she tried to be modern, and we had TV dinners, and we had, oatmeal that was like just a little packet that you poured water in, and she got the first Ford Mustang in 1965, and she wanted to be modern, and she wasn't given good information about healing, about health, and definitely about solving deep inner stuff. And now looking back, I'm like, wow, maybe that's what I'm all about. Maybe I'm trying to solve this old pattern that she was running, and it stops with me. The buck stops with me. I don't know, but for some reason, it seems like people in my family, we're doing our version to solve this deep inner stuff. And I'm so happy that I found this way to really get to the core of what this is all about, and then to shift it, and then to see real changes in the physical world, whether it's business or relationships. I have people that were terrified of having a relationship and now are like so looking forward to having the right guy in their life. So I'm looking at a guy that there's so many things that shift once you shift the inner stuff, and you can power through it. You can try to do it without it, but there's going to be a payback and always a pushback. And if you can get to this deep inner stuff and shift that, a lot of stuff starts to change. So that's my hope for you, that you'll find your version of clearing this inner stuff. And if you want what I've found that's been really useful, I'm giving it to you at ralphhavens.com/enlighten up. And there's a PDF hour video session, and there's also a PDF and a video session where I can show you this thing. And then if you want to go deeper, I can talk to you a little bit about that. There's videos and all sorts of stuff after that. So let me know what you think. When with this kind of stuff, it's cool to do the magic stuff. It's cool to do the matrix energetic stuff. There could be big changes in an instant. And it's also really cool to have a plan, to know what to do, so that when the junk shows up, when the inner stuff shows up, when the angst shows up, when the relationships show up, when the mom, dad stuff from the past shows up, you have a way to clear it instantly and then have a different life. And all those obstacles, all those miracles are actually stepping stones to clear more inner game, more inner turmoil, more inner angst, and then you're different. So notice how you feel after this session. Every session is encoded with matrix energetics, so you can have a change simply from sitting in the chair you're in now. And if you're interested in this deep inner game, deep clearing of inner stuff, then go to ralphhavens.com/enlighten up and grab those free videos and PDFs. All right, everybody, have a great Friday. Ben and I in Baden, my boys, we're heading out to the mountain today, Glacier, Washington. Have some coffee. There's a bunch of kids that meet out there every Friday morning. Jen gets to do her work here in the house for the day, and I'm having a great Friday. So I hope you guys are too, and I will see you all tomorrow. All right.